Hey folks, welcome to our run of Thirsty Sword Lesbians by April Kit Walsh. As part of the Gauntlet Reading Club, we'll be using Hannah Templar's CosmoKnights to inspire the fiction, but much of the disaster we have before us right now is entirely on the group of players we have here. Before we jump into things, I wanted to do a quick round of introductions for anyone watching. I'm Steven, he, him. I am GMing this run of Thirsty Sword Lesbians. I am also facilitating the club right now.
My name is Claire. I am playing a character named Freckle. Both me and the character, pronouns she, her.
So I'm Lyra, pronouns are she, her, or they, them, and I'm playing Kay, pronouns she, her.
Hi, I'm David, and I am playing Trace Soto.
My name's Puckett. I use he, him pronouns. I will be playing 5014, pronounced Sola.
This game is hosted through the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet is an online gaming community mostly focused on role-playing games of the indie and OSR varieties. Besides publishing a zine called The Codex, it also puts out several podcasts about role-playing games. And of course, it organizes a gaming calendar, which this and many other games are organized through every month. The calendar is open to non-members, so feel free to jump on over there through the link below if you're interested in playing with any of the folks here tonight or any of the other people on the Gauntlet. We'll be making use of the safety tools known as Script Change, the X card, and Lines and Veils. We'll also be making use of the Gauntlet's open door policy. If for any reason you need to step away, feel free. Maybe let us know if you can come back, but that is not necessary. Real life issues and your own safety take priority over taking part in the game. With all that taken care of, let's switch over to Freckle. The last time we had seen her, she had just promised to Lorelei that she would send a message off to Lord Rudolph with Lorelei's current location aboard the Kestrel. We open the scene with Freckle having just opened up a communication to Lord Rudolph back at House Stone. As you open up the communication panel, Lord Rudolph's face appears, and he inspects you for a moment, Freckle, and says, "Well, I'd say hello, Lorelei, but I think I know that you are not her.
What gives it away?
You lack her sense of style."
You didn't act that way the last time we spoke.
I was distracted then.
Well, my lady needs your assistance.
Very well. I have been expecting this. What does she need?
She just wants you to come by to meet with her. I imagine to pick her up because she doesn't want to be with these people.
Yes.
But I have a favor to ask, if you don't mind, in return.
And that favor is?
Since I'm doing this too, I'm going to give you their location. Can you not hurt the crew of the Kestrel? Can you let them go in peace?
If I am to do that, I will need you to assure me that they will pose no threat to the security forces I send after you. I can make no promises if they were to resist.
I believe I can get them to agree to those terms.
Yes. Perhaps you can be of help here, Freckle. You seem a distracting sort of girl. Perhaps you can make certain that when the time comes, you have their attention so that they do not see the approach of our security vessels. And that is a string he is spending on you in return.
So I get an XP if I accept, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will accept. Of course, if they don't have time to prepare defenses, they'll be much more likely to agree to not put up a fight. So I think that's a good idea.
Wonderful. I'll be seeing you soon. And then we cut out, and I think I wanted to give a little bit more time to Trace here. And then we'll see what Sola is up to, if that works for the two of you. Freckle, you've just been asked to dazzle or make some kind of big performance to distract the other members of the crew. What does that look like?
I don't know, Stephen, Trace, what would you think about, like, if, maybe I suggested to Trace, oh, do you want to like blow off some steam and do some sparring or whatever, and then everybody kind of gathers to watch?
That works for me, certainly.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And it strikes me that you can kind of like go almost between the two, because it feels like your sparring style would be quite theatrical in and of itself.
I actually got we're probably not going to use this move for this fight, but I did pick up a new move of impressive swordplay. Whenever you roll a 7+ to fight, you can gain a string on someone who is present and ask the player what it is about you that has impressed or intrigued them. So that I'm probably not going to be rolling the fight move during this, but yeah, I do see my sword fighting as being, in some senses, very like kind of right out of the training manual. I mean, it could go either way. Fuck it. Yeah. So it being like right out of a training manual, just like perfect by the book, but also like, little flourishes and little like kind of overextensions and a little bit kind of going up on one foot or twirling slightly more often than is necessary. And, just very kind of like balletic and stuff like that. So yeah. Cool. So do you guys have some sort of training area?
It didn't show up a lot in like the comic in the first volume, but there is a kind of like anti-grav chamber on their ship in that, and I imagine it's maybe something like that.
Yeah, that Ender's Game shit.
That sounds cool, yeah.
Cool. So, all right. So I picture that we're going into that room. Freckle's probably wearing something very frilly and feminine and starts getting down into just like the kind of like workout clothes and very toned back, surprisingly, like very lean muscle, but just gotta you just have to mention these things.
Yeah, and I'm gonna ask you to entice some folks in a moment, but I feel like because of the way Mirrorball is phrased, I'll probably ask you to roll that first here.
Sure. Okay. I can give it a roll.
And before you make that roll, but if you want to prepare, I'm just wondering, how is Trace handling this match? Because I think, are you as used to fighting with someone so showy in their style as Freckle is?
Probably not quite to the extent that Freckle is. I think particularly the speed and balletic nature of it is probably different to what he's used to training against.
Right. So yeah, as this fight goes on, if you could give me a roll for your Mirrorball here, Freckle.
All right. I rolled a 10 and I have +2 heart, so I got a 12. So the influencer, which was the person who asked me to do this, gets to choose one. So that would have been like, what would Lord Rudolph have wanted me to do? And then I get to pick one. I imagine that Lord Rudolph would want me to pick the top option.
Yeah, I'm picking your audience is wrapped.
Yeah, sounds good.
So you get to pick another.
That second one feels like it might be useful, but that last one, that's also very tempting. I can get a bonus to enticing. Yeah, I think the bottom one fits more with what I'm doing. I'm not actually doing this to make people feel good. This is a somewhat selfish maneuver on my part.
What is drawing Kay's attention to this fight?
I think that it's just admiration at all the flourishes, because I try and do this sort of flashy fighting style with my kind of fake hard light sword that I use for misdirection, but I'm just looking on in admiration and trying to pick up tips, because this is a masterclass in that sort of fighting and makes what I do look a bit clumsy. I think initially maybe I've kind of like brought a pad with me and was kind of like looking at diagnostics still, because like I was still kind of half distracted, but that kind of just like floats off against a wall somewhere and I'm just looking with rapt attention.
Yeah, and Hala, what musical accompaniment is there?
The musical theme from Rocky. So it's got that horn. It's like da 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 da.
And what about this fight has just absorbed Trace's attention so much? Because this is not just any old fight now. This is a fight that has you wrapped.
Yeah, I think what it is for Trace is that he can see the obvious like potential that Freckle has. I mean, not just potential, but like actual skill. But I think in a way, Trace is kind of going into teacher mode a bit.
I feel it almost seems a little bit like you're trying to figure out Freckle during this. from
Yeah, that
description.
sounds good. And that's an 11. So I believe that means, is it 2 questions from me? What's
Yeah,
that one?
plus a third.
Oh yes, plus a third from my list. So I think the obvious one to go for here is what is it that drives you to fight?
I guess I want to show people that I have worth because I want to be accepted and seen as valuable.
And is this just like once Trace like pushes a little bit, that's when you snap to it? You don't want to be seen as just someone Trace can push around in this fight?
Right. Yeah, I think that when Trace starts to like get one up on me, he sees that panic in my eyes of like, oh no, I have to be perfect. I can't, lose this. I can't, and like you just kind of pick up on just how fragile I am.
I guess the next one I'm going to ask kind of follows on from that almost. How could I get you to basically make an actual concerted effort to beat me?
That's tough. If I for some reason felt like that you weren't letting me get away with being kind of artistic and fancy and you were like really getting up in me, then pretty much my only option would be to like fight back really hard. So if you like start bringing it really tough, then I think it would become a real fight because I don't want to lose, but like, so if we turn it from this kind of like, we're going half speed kind of light friendly thing, if you really step it up, then I think that would do that.
And I think the last one, I know we'll ask this one now. I think it maybe it will change in a moment. But what are your feelings towards me, just in a general sense? What kind of vibe do I get?
I still don't think I know you super well. I feel like you're kind of a closed book in many ways. Like I think that I have a lot of respect for you, and I think that you're cool and like you seem like this like kind of tough, confident person, but I haven't really, I think, put a lot of thought into your like deeper emotional whatever yet. But I do have like respect for you.
No, that's cool. That's cool. And I think with that, Trace is going to switch to fighting a lot more, a lot dirtier, basically. Not fighting sort of by the book, not doing the kind of like, oh, I get in a hit and then step back and then we go at it again. This is going to start pressing a lot harder.
Freckle, now that Trace seems to be taking this fight seriously, do you want to entice or fight during this performance?
Yeah, I think that Trace has kind of triggered something in me a little bit where you've gotten like a couple too many hits in on me, and I'm worried that I now look like inept and I look like a fool, and kind of without realizing it, something kind of snaps in me and I'm going to go kind of aggro on Trace, like ball of rage, to be like, I'm going to put you in your place, show I'm a better fighter than you. Like, so yeah, I'm going to fight. Oh, that's a bad roll. So I rolled a 4, and this time I think the whole point was that you've pushed me to not fight gracefully. I'm fighting in a daring manner, I think, which is a much worse stat for me. So I have +1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a 5 overall.
So you could spend your 2 strings on Trace though to push you up to a 7.
I could. I don't know if I want to.
I think I'm actually going to spend those 2 strings because I want to see Freckle coming here. So I think I'm going to essentially assist in this.
So is Trace actually throwing this fight?
I don't think he's throwing the fight, but I think he's
You could maybe do like a, come on, is that all you got? You know,
Yeah,
you could do, like, you know what I mean?
exactly,
Like, kind of like
exactly, yeah,
coaching me
yeah.
on a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. It's more that kind of attitude than
Right.
It's not going to kind of like let it blow through, but he is going to be
Right.
goading.
Like, you got to let me
yeah.
push you around like that. Come
Yeah.
on, get it. You know, like, so, right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, that pushes you up to a 7 then, Freckle.
Are you all right saying that I like disarm you and like kind of knock you over and now I'm holding your sword?
Yeah, no, that's perfect.
That's great.
That's
Oh, that's
perfect.
great. Yeah.
And I think when I'm there on the floor, I'll just kind of let out a deep breath for a minute and then get up on my elbows a bit and just say, "You did well there. You've got the training, you've got the speed. Next time we get into this for real, I need you to find that drive you had at the end there and use that. And I want to trigger here my better bundle up move, which is when I give blunt but honest advice."
Oh sure, give me I think that's with your spirit.
Spirit, it is. Yeah, that's right. All spirit all day today. That is a 10 plus. So I gain another string on you, and you can take +1 forward to act on my advice. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say that it sounds like you are also encouraging me to do something for myself.
Yeah, that sounds fair.
Okay, so I'll say, I don't know if I want to hurt anyone. How can I make sure that I'm on the right side?
You won't always know for sure, but you'll know, I think, deep down when it comes to it, what needs to be done.
And I think it's at that moment that the klaxons start blaring, and that's where we cut away from you. So thanks anyone for watching. I had a lot of fun this session. Be seeing you all next week.